Well, in Brownville, sixth-generation farmers run a winery and distillery while also tending to their own vineyard.
It has been a big transition from traditional farming and taken over 2 decades of work, but the family is preserving more than the future of their farm. In this segment, Grace McDonald looks into the history at Whiskey Run Creek.
Whiskey Run Creek is the waterway that flows beside Brownville's winery and distillery, but the Heskett family didn't dabble in whiskey until about 20 years after it opened in 2002. The sixth-generation farmers specialize in wine.
And now we raise most of the grapes that go into our grape wines here. We've got about 5,000 vines out at our place now.
The vineyard started in the 90s when Nebraska University researchers wanted to grow crops on Bob Curtwright's property, but Brownville's been buying drinks here long before the winery.
On the Whiskey Run Creek property is a hidden historical gem, and while these air vents may look out of the ordinary, I'm standing on top of one of Nebraska's first ever breweries, founded in 1866.
This is the only thing that was on the site when Bob Curtwright was the gentleman who put the winery together, decided to build a winery here. It's my understanding that the brewery made around 3,000 barrels of beer a year to peak, which was sold locally around here.
The limestone in the cave was made in Brownville.
The floor's a little uneven, so watch your step there.
Down the stairs, it's about 55 degrees, perfect for storing beer.
This was open here when the brewery was in operation, so that's where they'd back the wagons and the mules they'd load out the barrels of beer.
From the brewery above the cave, the owners piped beer through the vents into barrels. The holes in the sides are meant to relieve water pressure. And according to Ron, the cave used to stretch even farther north.
So maybe the old brewery equipment is still buried over underneath the parking lot. Someday we'd like to get into it.
The Hesketts would like to restore the cave someday, like the previous owner did with the Whiskey Run Creek barn. It was built in 1902, about 10 miles away.
So they built a trestle system across the creek here. Brought the barn in, took about 10 hours that day.
Now, the loft seats about 60 people, and in the retail shop, the family sells the wine they make on site.
They're just so dedicated, and it's a passion of theirs, and from the part of it being in the family farm, you know, going into the sixth generation, there's just a lot to it.
Ron's son, Matthew, even started a YouTube channel to show their behind-the-scenes work.
And I think it's kind of an interesting thing to be able to show all the work that kind of goes into the products that we actually make here.
Whiskey Run Creek is open year-round for visitors to taste wines in their 1902 barn or even in the cave. For Pure Nebraska, I'm Grace McDonald.